Hello, people of the world choosing to watch internet instead of cable television. I thank you for that. I'm your host of Give It the Beans, Sarah, and this is a 2022 Mercedes-Benz S580 4MATIC AMG-Line. And I kind of match it today, except my lab coat's dirty because I put in work in this garage. Anyway, today let's get this thing up in the air. We're gonna nerd out on the tech specs, see what makes this thing tick, and then take it out on the road and give it the beans. Up. You know, typically I'm a fan of black Benzes, but I have to say white with the black accent package in these 21s suits this car. While I applaud you, Mercedes, for having active exhausts on this car, they are not loud enough when they're in the open position. I want to hear that twin turbo V8. This is the details I like to see on a Mercedes. They use actual hardware to hold the underbody aero cladding. Albeit they're plastic, they're real hardware though, instead of little pop clips that just break when you go to remove them. Rear suspension wise, there's quite a bit going on back here on the S580. Now this one is equipped with the rear wheel steering, gives you 4.5 degrees of turnableness. You see right here the rear tie rod assembly. The lower control arms in this multi-link suspension are made out of aluminium, as well as the knuckle. The rest of the links are steel, and it looks like they're all fully boxed, which is nice. The rear subframe is a neat hybrid between plastic and aluminium, which, I mean, plastic doesn't rust, so the more you know. Now this car does have the Airmatic air suspension, however it does not have the E-active body control, which you would be able to tell because it would have a hydraulic line going to this rear damper, which you cannot see. And since Mercedes likes to keep their technical data under wraps, for those of us like nerding out on stuff like this, the rear anti-sway bar, about 18 millimeter. As you start going further down the center of the car, you can see it has two huge resonators right here in the center tunnel, where the drive shaft is right above this heat shield. Nice flanges, H-pipe. And don't you dare underestimate my level of nerdiness. I must measure the diameter of this dual exhaust. Outside diameter is a little over 2¼ inch piping, or about 60 millimeters. Up above, you're looking at the W223 chassis, which the S580 rides on. This one in particular, with the 4MATIC all-wheel drive system, weighs just over 4,700 pounds, which is more than a Toyota Tacoma. This is a big, heavy car. Has a bunch of aluminium cross members. What? It looks like someone stole this middle exhaust hanger. I love that they have these little hard plastic cubes to make lifting this car easy. There is only one transmission available in this S580 above this dimpled golf ball looking plastic sheet, and that is the 9G-tronic 9-speed automatic, which is capable of a maximum torque input of 700 Newton meters of torque. It's a stout gearbox. Just in front of it, which you can barely see, there's a little yellow caution label there, as well as right down there. This is the 48-volt mild hybrid system that's sandwiched between the transmission, which you can see the plastic transmission pan right here, and it runs all the way back to right here. You can see the back half of the transmission, drive shaft coming right out the top right there to the rear wheels. That 48-volt mild hybrid system can provide up to 21 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque in conjunction with that gasoline engine, which I'll touch on in a minute. Nothing like seeing the backside of a big muscular brake caliper. I like that. Up front, again, you have a multi-link suspension with the Airmatic air suspension. The front anti-sway bar on this thing is a beast. I want to measure it. It's huge. 32 millimeters. That's girth. These lines right here though for the Airmatic suspension they feel vulnerable just sitting in front of this lower link. Aluminium subframe up front as well. Look how rugged in construction that thing is. It is so stout. That is an interesting little duct right there. It's got a little metal edge on it to help deflect air up into here. That's so weird. All right, time for the braking test. Nothing behind me. Ready? Oh, Jesus. Oh, I made the seatbelt angry. It's doing all kinds of robot things. I feel like that was a really short stopping distance for something this big. That braking was just accomplished with a massive set of 14.5 inch or 365 millimeter rotors with a 4-pot monoblock caliper. The wheels though, they are a 21 by 9 34 millimeter offset Ronal, just like the wheels that are on my 83 Audi R Quattro. Love these wheels. I usually hate machine face gloss black wheels, but they look fire on this car. And as far as these tires go, they are a 255/35 Pirelli P0. See, it's got that little AMG logo on the bottom. This is definitely a factory accessory wheel I would opt for instead of doing aftermarket. Out back, the rotors are drilled like they are in the front, which I forgot to mention. They're smaller though at 14.1 inches or 358 millimeter. The wheels, they're staggered. So out back you get a 21 by 10 with a positive 48 millimeter offset, and the tire is a 285/30 21-inch Pirelli P0. Well, that's weird. The inner fender liner is like a textury, rubbery plastic. I like that it's got this little black belt line trim, which is an option down here at the bottom that goes along with the black mirrors, but around the windows it's satin silver. In the name of science, I am now going to give this thing the beans. First, I must conduct a bolstering assessment. Ooh, the seatbelt just squeezed me. You know, it's not too bad. These seats do everything. They're heated, they're ventilated, they're massaging, they randomly make little massage adjustments on you when you're least expecting it, just to let you know that it likes to touch you. In case you were wondering, these pillows on the headrest, they're Velcro, so you can wash them because they would get really nasty if you couldn't. If you think about that, it's like not washing your towel. And on top of that, as part of a comfy package, this thing has heated armrests, along with the steering wheel is heated too. I like that there's controls for the shades back here so your children can irritate the shit out of you while you're driving. As far as drive modes go, down here next to your infotainment screen, there is a bar that says dynamic. You can touch that and scroll through Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus. Ooh, it turned off the auto stop start, so it just started the car. And then individual, you can configure yourself. So I'm going to put it into Sport Plus, and then I'm gonna touch the little car logo on that bar. And when you do that, it gives you another menu. It has something in here for snow chains, raise the level of the car, manual shifting, some safety features, lower your head restraint. Anyway, I'm gonna touch on the ESP, disable that. Even though this is a big luxury car, I like that it's got this little performance gauge area in the infotainment system. You got your torque and horsepower and boost pressure for those 2 turbos. And then, that's weird, off-road telemetry, in case you take your S-Class off-roading. All right, ready? See what this thing can do. Go. Oh, geez. Torques. Ooh, it's got the little overboost on the shifts. Ooh, that's aggressive. Hell yeah, that's good. This thing's a fucking rocket. That V8 sounds amazing. Double pop. Pop. Quad struts. It's all clear coated under here too. That's such a nice looking engine bay. I would want to wax under here all the time. Under the hood of this S580 is the M176, which is a die-cast alloy block and head, 4-liter, 4-cam, bi-turbo V8 that produces 496 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 516 pound-feet of torque from 2,000 to 4,000 RPM in conjunction with that 48-volt mild hybrid system that you saw earlier under the car. I'm gonna pull this engine cover off so you can get a better look at these twin Borg-Warner turbos that sit in the hot V, as they call it. Last one, come on. There we go. Wow, even the plastic engine cover has a little metal heat shield on it. So there is your dual Borg-Warner twin scroll turbos. Each one's twin scroll running at 17 pounds of boost. You notice right here, the O2 sensors are up high because the catalytic converters are right on the back of these turbos up into the engine bay, just like on Mercedes straight 6. And judging by the look of these two coolant lines where they're routed, this thing has dual water to air charge coolers because it's like a shrimp. They just like cut it down the center, depooped it, and then there's a turbo and accoutrements on each side of the shrimp. I'm really hungry right now if you haven't been able to tell. Yep, you can barely see them right here. See that right there? And right there. It's your dual water to air charge coolers. They're just kind of sitting down in front of the engine because you got your big giant cooling fan right there on your radiator and your AC condenser. That's hilarious that they have a picture of a tie for the fan because surely no technician is going to be wearing a tie, so that's just confused businessman warning. Digging in a little bit deeper on that 4-liter V8, it has a fully closed deck block with an 83 by 92 millimeter bore end stroke. It's a wet sump oiling, it's not dry sump on this, and it has the Bosch piezo electronic fuel injection system, which gives 5 squirts of gasoline per combustion cycle per cylinder. Hey, look at that, little ground studs are gold. That's pretty. Did they remove the paint on the backside before they attached them? It looks like it. What in the Rube Goldberg machine is going on with these wipers? That is intense. Snap snaps. Nice. What are you doing? Dinosaur things? You gotta get out of the road, you're gonna get squished. Here you go. Keep going. That has helped a Gila monster cross the road. I didn't want it to get squished. Yep, it's gone. Anyway, so I have reviewed an S580 in the past on my other channel. There's a link up above to that if you wanted to check it out. And as far as the differences go from 2021 to 2022, not a lot different. This has got dots on the center console. That's new. It's got some more tech features for 2022, but this isn't a tech review channel. I focus more on the mechanical aspects of cars. And mechanically, the one thing that I wish this one was equipped, the e-active body control, it doesn't have, so I can't really talk on that and see how it makes a difference on this thing. But honestly, I wouldn't buy one of these to hoon down back roads. So, I mean, I guess it's great that they have that as a feature, but this is the wrong kind of car for that stuff. This is a car you just cruise in and be comfy. The Burmeister sound system in here with the subwoofers and the footwells is choice. Love that. I just love the feeling of having the bass down there in the footwell instead of like up in the deck lid rattling your back window. Not that that happens really in modern luxury cars anymore. It's more so like people putting plywood boom boxes in their trunk like it's 2002. I find it cute that there's actual physical buttons next to the vents to open and close the individual vents. That's a nice touch, literally. The only downsides I see of this car is it is definitely not do-it-yourself maintenance friendly unless you are a skilled technician, and then these make great project cars in the used market because you can pick them up for fairly inexpensive, and I feel there's so much life left in them if you know how to work on them. I don't really care for the door handles that pop out. They're just, at times I want to grab the door handle and it's not out, and I'm not intelligent enough to figure out how to use it correctly, and I'm just like, open my damn door now. Comparing this against its competitors, the only one I've really had a chance to spend any time in is the Lexus LS 500, and I have to say, I'm kind of a big fan of the 500, especially on the interior with that special Carico glass treatment that it has on the doors. As far as exterior styling, it's a tough one. I feel the Lexus has more of a distinctive look to it, and Mercedes, especially in this newer generation, is just kind of a little too conservative, I think. I think they could go a little bit more bold with their styling. Fuel economy wise, it's not bad considering it's a twin turbo V8 and it's a big heavy car. The EQ boost probably does help a little bit. I think it just makes a big difference in the power band because of how smooth it is. It's just, there's no turbo lag. It's just instant go shove. The only lag that it has, I think, is some torque management happening in the transmission so it doesn't grenade when you give it the beans. Other than that, I didn't really have any major complaints on this thing. It's what you would expect an S-Class to be like. So starting with the bean score, this S580 with the 4-liter bi-turbo V8 and EQ boost is getting a rating of still 3 beans, and Mercedes is still sandbagging on their 0 to 60 claim for this car. It's a lot quicker than what they say it is. Anyway, next is the cookie score. It's assessment of value, what you spend, what you get. And the 2022 model is more expensive now. And this one's got less options than the 21 model I reviewed, yet it cost $131,000 and change. So it's getting a rating of, it's a boss ass car. That's all I can say. I still think it's pretty good value when you look at the level of quality and the engineering that goes into it. Next is the mechanic score. It's assessment on a 1 to 5 scale, 5 being easy, 1 being a shit show for maintaining a vehicle. And this car right here, it's getting a rating of 1.3 wrenches. Not for novice technicians at all. Lastly though is the Penguin Score's assessment of how much I personally like a vehicle, and this car right here is getting a rating of 3.9 penguins. I'm a sucker for Big Benz. I really, really like this car. And it looks so good at those wheels and in white. That's it right there. That's a sexy car. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you soon with another. Bye.